It is a distraction. It is a diversion from the fact that the UN is set to vote on crippling sanctions that will include an embargo, a blockade of Iran and goods coming into the country, non-military, which is under every charter historically and under current law an act of war. And Iran is saying they will start boarding international ships, which will be an act of war, and it is off to the races. World War III is in preparation publicly right now with Iran. And this will not go like Afghanistan and Iraq. And we've got a public so timid that if you try to talk to most of your neighbors, they don't want to talk to you because they want to go in and watch Sports Center, or they want to go in and take their Prozac or drink their beer or live in their own little world. We live in a country that's so strange that Americans are scared on the beach at night and will not talk to fellow citizens about dolphins and turtles and think it's weird if you try to talk to them back when they talk to you. We live in a country so in its comfort zone that the average American is scared of a gun. This is not the spirit This is not the attitude that is going to save the country. A timid, crouch down and lick the hand that feeds you, forget that you are our countrymen. We need to be angry. That's why the media always says, oh, don't criticize anything the government's doing. Don't criticize all the communist rallies going on around the country, funded by the government. Don't criticize that, or you must be a racist. That's meant to make you sit down and shut up. You're meant to be timid. You're meant to be cowardly. You're meant to be scared to talk about anything but what is acceptable. And what does the media say is acceptable? You're allowed to talk about sports, and you're allowed to talk about the weather. And I catch myself even doing it. If somebody starts trying to talk to me at the park and they go past the weather, I don't want to talk to them. Because usually I'm already thinking about something, and we're so busy in our daily lives, and there's so much going on in our minds that we just want to do what's safe. But I tell you, more and more I break my conditioning. I was in a CVS pharmacy driving home Sunday, and I go up to the counter, and the woman starts pushing flu shots on me. Now, I know full well that it was a hoax from the beginning, and now it's admitted it was a hoax. I know full well that for 2 months, even the government said there's no need to take the shot anymore because the H1N1 non-event pandemic, the hoax, is over. But the woman said, would you like an H1N1 shot? We have specials on them, getting rid of their inventory, of course. And I didn't go through that speech with her, and I said, no, thank you. Do you want a CVS card? And I said, no, thank you, pushing a tracking card. And then she said, do you want to give money to Lou Gehrig's disease, $1? And I said, no, thank you. And she gave me a condescending look and smacked her lips. And I said, listen, lady, I said, that H1N1 shot you want to push on me is linked to Lou Gehrig's disease and Guillain-Barré's. And she rolled her eyes, and I said, with my son standing right next to me, I said, it's on the insert. It causes neurological disorders. Don't smack your lips at me. And I raised my voice. And then I started preaching at her. What I'm going to do. You want to talk about the ridiculous propaganda piece demonizing the Tea Parties last night that aired 3 times and is going to air again today and throughout the week over and over again. A network with pathetic ratings like they have has to air something over and over again to have any effect. You're welcome to call in on that subject. Your take on the BP ongoing day 65, 66, I forget. And the aftermath of that, and Obama pushing for his global carbon tax and a wellhead tax, a gas tax, so many taxes, who can keep count? If you wish to discuss the FCC, the Federal Trade Commission, there's 3 or 4 new articles today up on the Drudge Report about it, openly calling for censorship of the internet and free speech. You want to discuss the continued financial meltdown, the horrible jobless numbers that came out, gold blasting back to all-time highs today, after the establishment failed to suppress it. The toll-free number to join us on air is 1-800-259-9231. Let's start running through the news. Prosecutors want gag order on Blagojevich, defense lawyers say. Chicago Tribune. Well, of course they do. It's on record that he worked with Rahm Emanuel, that he came up under Axelrod as one of the proteges of Axelrod. Axelrod is their kingpin. And then, of course, above them is mob boss Daley. I mean, Chicago, no one debates that Chicago is full of great people and great pizza. But at the same time, it is Mafia Center USA. You don't get any more corrupt than the big city machine. And it's time to kick it out. And the bigger they are, the harder they fall. It's on record. Of course, we reported this a year and a half ago when Obama won the presidency. But now it's mainline news that for years as a congressman, and then, of course, as a senator, both Senator Obama and House member Rahm Emanuel had their homes paid for, not just in Chicago, but in D.C. by companies like, well, one of them, a big lobbyist for BP, they paid for the house for years. The $1 million plus a year apartment condo of the White House Chief of Staff, Rahm Emanuel. And then, of course, Goldman Sachs and others paying for things for Obama. I mean, that is illegal on its face. On its face, it is illegal. They should be indicted right now. But don't forget who they've got as the Attorney General. He was the Deputy Attorney General under Hillary Clinton, and the butcher of Waco, Janet Reno. And Janet Reno, who on record was blackmailing Clinton the entire time with all of his crimes, was able to basically get away with murder, including murder at Waco. But government involvement in the murder, not suicide, of Vince Foster. This is a mafia crew. They enjoy heist. They enjoy bravado. They enjoy hubris. They enjoy the bold moves. And so Blagojevich has been trying to get all the tapes released, and the government's like, no, 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 because on those tapes is Axelrod and Emanuel and Barry Soetoro and all of them. And it's on record that they're in the tapes. How do you think this works? This is Chicago. And Goldman Sachs and others said, hey, we love this model. We want a Chicago crew. You know, these guys will get the job done. The globalist mafia sitting in New York and D.C. said, we got some good boys there in Chicago. Oh, they're ruthless. They're bold. Let's get them in right now. Look at the foolish public. They think they're getting rid of Bush, who we owned. Now we're putting it on man Obama. We got so much dirt on him. And when we're done with him in 4 to 8 years, depending on how much these schmucks out there buy, look at all these stupid people hoping change. Oh, yeah, you're going to get a lot of change. We own all the horses in the race. Let me tell you, our guy, Don King, he owns both the fighters. But the idiots, they still pay $50, $60, $100 for pay-per-view. And they tune in and they watch a rigged fight, just like they watch the rigged ponies, just like they go to Vegas. Oh, look at the schmucks. There's nothing they won't put up with. There's nothing they won't go along with. There's nothing they won't buy. Soon all of America is going to be like Chicago, where our people run things, where they're disarmed, where we own the cops, we own the courts. We're going to take everybody's property because this country is ready to be pushed over. It's like a great big mud pie, and we're pigs that are going to wade into it. Tony Montana would say something else. This sounds like a great big, but you know what? I'm not going to say it here. The point is, this country's ready to be brought down right now. These cowards, all they want to do is watch their football, their baseball, their World Cup. That's good. You watch that like little kids while the men steal everything you got. Good job, Blagojevich.